Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's team training. It is Thursday, the 14th of November. We are 6 weeks left to the end of the year and a new decade, which is so exciting. So we are going to keep our foot on the gas with our businesses, and we're not going to use the busy season as an excuse to stop our workouts, stop eating well, and really going out there and recruiting people, because now is the time to be talking to everybody, because come January, they're going to be thinking about you. But it's an amazing way, like I said in last week's training, to suggest to people that they buy Beachbody On Demand, buy a challenge pack for their loved ones for a Christmas gift. Like, imagine how much that gift will change their life and that they can continue using long after the Christmas period. Okay, so always have that positive mindset, that mindset of abundance, that mindset of there being so many people out there that we can make a positive impact on. And today our focus is going to be about creating captions that convert. And that's all down to marketing ourselves on social media, building our brand, and getting people to really relate to who we are and speaking to our avatar. So for those of you who are in our new coach mentorship, you will know that we have done an avatar exercise. We have done an exercise where we list like 10 things about us, to really start getting a feel of what it is that we're going to be sharing on our social media channels, when we're talking about ourselves, how we can relate to our kind of people. So I'm going to take that a step further now in how you translate that into what you post and how you post it. Okay, I will always say our social media is our storefront. It shows we're open for business. We have to show up every single day, but we have to show up with purpose. Okay, we can't just be pulling random stuff out of nowhere, posting it like that's so what, like what was the point of that post, like there was no value in it. So you really have to start posting with purpose, and obviously your purpose is to, yes, add value, yes, recruit new coaches, sign up customers, but to make a really positive impact. So when we're posting with purpose, we have a theme that we're following, we have a structure to what we're doing. And I know that making that shift is really going to help us see more conversions rather than doing stuff like from any and everywhere and just throwing up a post for the sake of throwing up a post. Okay, so I had sent this work to everybody. So that is what we're going to use as a guideline today. You can get through as much of it as you can on the call, the basic understanding, and then I want you to go and do it as homework and really dive into the exercises that I'm going to talk us through today. Okay, so the first question you really need to ask yourself is, am I posting with purpose? Like, take an honest look. Sometimes as new coaches, you're like, I don't even really know what to post. Like, I posted my sweating selfie, but did you post why you worked out, what it meant to you, and how other people can join you? Okay, so ask yourself, am I posting with purpose? Is there a structure to this? And like, what was the point of that post I just made? Okay, what is the intention of that post? Like, you've got to think before you make a post, like, what is the intention? Is it to add value? Is it to invite people to join you on the business side of it? Is it to enroll people into your upcoming success group? Like, what is the intention and the purpose for each post that you make? Will your ideal client and teammate, coach, business partner, whatever you want to call them, read it and say, oh my gosh, me too? Like I said, when you've identified your avatar, you're going to be speaking directly to that person every time you make a post. And I've had so many people write to me and say, you are in my head. Like, how do you know how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and you know what I was like, why I struggled before in the past? And that's because I'm speaking to my avatar, and I speak like them. I speak like in their language. I'm going to talk more about language in a minute, but it's really important to start talking directly to your avatar. Okay, you've got to ask yourself, would this speak to me if I read it pre-Beachbody? Like, would this post attract me? Because obviously people that you're talking to are not part of Beachbody. They're not part of your business. They're not part of your challenge group. They're not part of your team yet. So you've got to think, if they didn't know anything about Beachbody, anything about challenge group, anything about a VIP online community, would it have spoken to you and enticed you to join? Okay. And do I have a scroll stopping story to go along with my awesome post, okay? Because that is very important, because Instagram especially, it was a picture sharing app to begin with. So the focus really is on stopping people scroll with a really eye-catching image. We've done a training recently on creating images and like lighting and, you know, framing your photos and things like that. And not just posting a picture of your Shapeology, but like that curiosity marketing and having it in the background of a photo. So you've got to think about all of those things when you are creating one simple post. I promise you, you will get better at it every single time you do it. But we've got to start with intention. So I want you to skip to this page. It is called the struggle web, okay? So the way we're going to create content that converts is by thinking about our struggles, okay? So wait, I want to just take a step back quickly. I know we've got a very big mix of females and males on our team, but females are the ones that normally make a lot of purchases within the household, okay? So females often buy for everybody else. They buy for their husbands, they buy for their kids, they buy for family members, they buy for people's birthdays. Like, we've got to really speak to the heart of people to make them make that purchase, because oftentimes the last purchase they make is the one for themselves. So that's why we have to invoke so much emotion in that person and have them say, like, me too, that spoke to me in my heart, like it got me right here. That's what made me take that leap of faith. That's what made me sign up with you. You really need to speak to their emotions, okay? And like, this is not a sprint. You've got to think about jab, 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 right hook, which is an amazing book by Gary Vee. That you've got to be dropping breadcrumbs all the time. So the way we do that, you've got to think about what you're recruiting to. So normally at the beginning of a month, your goal is to lock in Success Club within like the first 5 days. So you're going to be focusing on getting challenge group members, okay, selling challenge packs, getting people enrolled into your upcoming success group. So the way you do it, that, like, when you've looked at your calendar, you know what you're recruiting to, because again, that's going to help you post with intention. Are you recruiting to the challenge group, or are you recruiting to the coach opportunity? So let's take this for an example. You're posting for your challenge group. So you go through this rotation. Just think of 3 posts, okay? You're going to rotate those 3 post themes over like 3 to 4 or 5 days, okay? So for example, say you're very much about body image, and one of your posts is going to be about how you look in the mirror and you absolutely hated what you saw, especially after you had a baby, or, you know, just talk about body image and what that means to you, but really evoking those emotions in other people. So you're not just sharing a story. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more in a minute. You're not just sharing a generic, general story. You're really going deep into the emotions that you felt and get other people to feel that, because the more relatable you are, the more authentic you are, the more you're going to convert, okay? So that would be an idea for post 1. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm here. I'm muting now.
Okay. Post number 2, like, add value, okay? So are you sharing a workout snip? Are you sharing a recipe? Are you doing a tip? Are you like sharing something of value? Then post 3 could be a story about your personal struggles with a call to action, okay? And then you just repeat those 3 post themes for that week, all right? So people will start to sort of get the thread of what you're talking about. And don't ever worry about posting the same thing over and over again. You're going to be repurposing the content in a different way each time, but people aren't going to see every single post you make. They're not going to be reading everything. Like, the algorithms just don't do that. They don't let you see everybody's post. But you want people who come to your page new to see what someone who came to your page 3 weeks ago saw in terms of the story and who you are and what you have to offer. You're just delivering it in a slightly different way. So if you're on a recruiting push, then you're going to talk about those 3 posts that you're going to craft are going to be, for example, what has the business done differently from my lifestyle right now? What has it gifted me? What has the opportunity changed in me? Okay, post 2, what is it doing for your family? Post 3 could be like just a motivational quote about how the community uplifts you and like the impact it's having with a call to action. So every 3rd post, you're going to add that call to action. Okay, and this needs to be in your posts and in your stories. So if people find you on your stories, they're going to go to your feed. If people find you on your feed, they're going to go to your story. So everything has to tie in together. Okay, so yes, we've spoken about finding your avatar and building your brand and what are the 5 things about you. That's really well and good, okay, because yes, that's going to give you a basis for what you're talking about. But you really, when it comes back down to actually writing stuff that converts people, that's when you know you need to feel them, like hit them right here in their heart, okay? You want someone to turn around and say, I'm in, take my money. Like, I'm in, I just need to be with you. I need to be in your next group. I need to be in your team. Just sign me up. Here's my money, okay? So you want to get to that stage where people really have that deep connection with you. So I'm going to reference back to this. There are 5 different things on the struggle web. Okay, so on the struggle web, we have financial, we have physical, we have emotional, we have family and career. Once you just come up with those 3 post ideas on each one of those, and I'm telling you guys, it is well worth the half an hour to do the exercises on this, because it's really going to make your content a lot better. Okay. So once you've filled out this, we have the struggles in mind. Then we're going to really drill down into those struggles. What makes, not what makes our struggles different, but like you've got to go really specifically into those stories. So if you look at, I had all these in the right order. This one, brainstorm the stories of your struggles. Okay, so we've got the physical, emotional, financial, and the other, like the community and things like that. So I want to give you a very specific example. So if someone says, oh, are you fed up of feeling overweight, tired all the time, like just fed up? Like, that's really generic. Yeah, I do feel fed up, but like whatever, like I haven't done anything about it so far, so what's going to make me do something about it and with you? So a different kind of way of sharing that story is, I'll never forget the day that boy called me Thunder Thighs, and then go into the story about how you felt the day that little boy called you Thunder Thighs and how it broke your heart and you were so conscious of your legs from then on. And another example is, you know, if you go to the pool in your swimsuit and you're like, you make sure, or the beach, and you drag your chair right down to the beach because you don't want to see anybody in your bathing suit, in your swimsuit, and you made sure that when you ran onto your chair that no one was looking, and you didn't even get up off your chair to pee or anything like that. Like, make it a really intense, like you're living this story with the person who's reading it. Okay, you want it in Technicolor. And someone's going to be like, oh my God, I have been that lady at the beach who's been completely covered up all the time. And I just was mortified that someone would see me if I took my sarong off. Like, dig deep into that story and that emotion. And that is going to hook people. Okay. Or another one, like, how can 2 words hold so much power? Hard decline. Will always haunt me. And every time I'm in that checkout line, I feel light. Okay, so there's going to be so many people that have like had their heart racing at the checkout counter because they're so scared that their credit card's going to get declined or the check is going to bounce and they can't feed their kids. Like, this is just life, okay? But if you're telling it in such a way that that person is taken straight back to that moment in time when they felt that very same thing, and you can show them how you got from there to where you are now, and that you can guide them through that process, they are literally going to be saying, sign me up. Okay, so I want you to take the time to fill in this section, which is the brainstorming the stories of the struggle. So you want to write about 2 or 3 down, but you're just going to repurpose this every single week. Like, go back to this. You'll get so good at it that you don't need the sheet. But think of those moments in time, which was like really, well, you still remember them now because they created that much emotion in you at the time. Other people are going to have those triggers as well. Okay, so you really want people to envision, like, this is where I was and this is where I am. This is where you are. This is where you can be with my guidance. Okay, so you do want to share the then versus now. And I don't care, guys, if you're not out of your like financial situation yet, you're a new coach, you came in this to help change your life. Even if you go to the checkout counter and you know you've only got $30 to play with, but you're not going to have your card bounce, talk about that. You can say, look, it's such a relief knowing that given this opportunity, I now can go to the checkout and not worry about my check bouncing. because over time, check is such an old school thing. Like we still write checks here, but yeah, credit card bouncing, you can just reference that because people will relate to that. Okay, don't be vague in your stories. Don't make them generic. Be specific. Okay, think about this every time. Every time you write, think about speaking to people's hearts. Okay. You've got to show up daily. I say this all the time. You can't just like check out of social media. You have to be showing up because that's when that consistency piece comes in. If people see you showing up, they will see that you can help them show up consistently as well. Okay. But there's a very big difference between just showing up and putting out random content and showing up and actually posting with purpose and being very specific with your story and being very relatable and authentic. Okay. So another way that you can really do this and get in people's heads is when you're talking to people and you're handling rejections in private messages and people are commenting on your thing. Think of the language they are using. Like, what phrases are they saying to you? How are they phrasing things? And if they're your people, it'll be phrases that you use. Write those phrases down, okay? Remember them, write them in a book, write them on your phone, and use those phrases, use the language that your avatar speaks in your post, okay? Because again, this is bringing them closer to you and making them feel like you're speaking directly to them, okay? So go back, fill in that struggle web, fill in the stories of the struggles, and then the next part of that is if you flip over your page and you're on Brainstorm coaching stories of your wins, okay? So the same 4 topics are there: physical, emotional, financial, and other, okay? So you're sharing your struggles, but within your theme for the week, you're also sharing your wins, okay? So the solutions, what you've actually achieved or how you've changed from signing up as a customer and a coach and things like that. So how has the coaching solved one of the struggles above? Don't be vague, tell a specific story that invokes feelings. So for an example, I already sort of jumped ahead to this, but anyway, today I went to Target and for the first time in a long time, I didn't swipe my card in fear, okay? Like this might not be your struggle. Finances might not be your struggle, but for a lot of people, it will be. Being really, really overweight might not be your struggle. It might have been that you were too skinny and people always called you chicken legs or like, oh, you need to put on weight. Like whatever your struggle is, talk about it because your people will have been going through those same struggles, okay? Or another one, just an example to go back on what I said before about hiding in the bikini and sitting on your chair the whole day and not moving. Today I got out of my chair. I looked down at my legs in pride after leg day and strutted my stuff to the water. That feeling of confidence is, and then go into your story, okay? Because we're talking in a very story brand way. And if you haven't got that book yet, I really recommend that you do because it all ties into what we're doing now, okay? Right, and that takes us on to every single time you post, you need a hook, you need a story, so past to present, struggle to solution, and then you need a call to action or a call to question, like a question at the end. You want people to start interacting with your posts. So this is how you do it, okay? So you need to like connect the dots from the beginning of your story to the end of your story. The hook, sometimes, well, that's obviously the scroll stopping caption at the top, which is the whole purpose of this. That's the thing that's going to hook them in. Sometimes the hook isn't the first thing you write. You write the story and then you pull the hook from within the story and go back and put that at the top. Okay, so you take like a sentence out of the story and put it at the top because that's what's going to grab people and keep them reading. Okay, so but let's just say, for example, like you're someone who you eat like a bowl of special K for breakfast, you then do anything until like you eat a pack of goldfish for lunch, you go to the gym for 3 hours in the night, and then on the way home, you eat Chick-fil-A because you feel like that's a good protein and you deserve it because you worked out really hard. But there's nothing nutritional about that. There's nothing like good about that routine, that mindset of like starving yourself or thinking it's okay to eat goldfish and then Chick-fil-A because you've worked out. If you share that story, people are going to relate, okay? Or you can say things like, I never felt I was like a cool kid because I I had to buy my jeans from TK Maxx, or like, I don't know, in America, like Hills or somewhere like that, like a really not cool store, and you're embarrassed. Like as a kid, you were totally embarrassed because you had to buy your jeans from whatever shop and you just didn't feel like you were cool. And now, like the feeling of pride, although this is, you know, a bit superficial, people will relate to it, like the sense of just knowing you can go into, like, I don't know, Gap or like Old Navy and buy a pair of jeans that you love. I don't know the American stores well enough to be able to relate it to America. Prada, Gucci, I don't know if they even do jeans, but you know, just that you've got to take the person from here to then to now. Chelsea laughing at me with my lack of American knowledge of stores. But you've got to bridge the gap, okay? Make it very specific. The more specific you can make it, the more relatable it's going to be. And then your call to action, like let's take, for example, right, you've got your hook and it's like really spoke to someone's emotions. You then share the story, you take them through the process of then to now and where you were, what the struggle was, and now what the solution is. The call to action, say for example, you're talking about your thunder thighs and that kid, you'll never forget the day that boy called you thunder thighs. Your call to action could be something. If you're sat there thinking about how much you hate your legs and you want to join my next boot camp to feel proud of them, like relate it back to that story. And 1 week it could be thunder thighs, the next week it could be your like your mummy tire or whatever it is. Like I don't think this is about, like, I just need to say this here because some people read it wrong all the time. Like it's not body shaming, it's not hating how you were, it's literally bridging the gap for people, because people are going to call themselves fat. They are going to say they've got a spare tie belly. They are going to say they hate the stretch marks. And if you can get them to feel that and say how proud you are now of the fact that you love your body and you're embracing your body and you're proud of the work you've put in, even if you still have squidgy bits, you've given birth to a child. I'm relating this a lot to mums, but guys, you can do the same thing. Like do that, okay? But you can say the same kind of story each time, just about a different body part or a different memory that came up for you, but relate it to those 5 things in terms of physical, emotional, financial, and then like the community. Like I often say, like for example, on my coaching posts, I never was a girly girl. I never had girlfriends growing up. I was always one of the boys. I was always out being adventurous. And I never thought I needed a community of women around me to like be successful or to, you know, girls were always bitchy and I'd rather just hang out with the guys because it was so much simpler. And it wasn't until I was in a group of empowered women, all supporting one another, all wanting the best for one another, that I realized what I was missing. And the impact and positivity that's had on my life has changed the game. So if you're sat there at work thinking, I hate this office, I hate that the women are bitching every day around the like lunch table, and I just want to make a difference and I want to be in alignment with people who really do want to make a difference, like join me now. Like that can tie in that kind of story. And I've used that quite a lot of times with the coaching. I never knew I needed it until I had it. I always thought I was cool without it because that's the way I was brought up. But that kind of story is a powerful one because a lot of people think that way. Okay. And guys, especially, like, what do I need a community for? Like I can go to the gym and pump on. I don't need anyone like cheering me on. But a lot of guys now, like, with mental health, they feel alone, they feel like they have to hide their feelings. Like share stories like this and people will honestly turn around to you and say, sign me the hell up. You'll find the better you get at this, the better you get at evoking emotions in people, the easier it's going to be for you to convert. You're not just grabbing like random things, you're actually posting with purpose, you're posting with structure. You've got hook, you've got the story, past to present, struggle to solution, and then you've got the call to action relating to the struggle. Okay, so you always bring it back to tie it up. And don't feel like you're going back to English class, like English literature, English writing, because you're not. Like, just do it in your style, speak in your language. Like, I say things like freaking cool, like all the time, and I write how I speak. I think it probably infuriates my mum. I write how I speak, and sometimes the grammar isn't perfect, but guess what? That's how I speak, so that's how I write, and people, it will sound to people when they're reading it like I'm speaking to them. And then if they go to my stories and they see me speaking like that and hear me speaking like that, they're going to know it all ties together, because that's another thing. Like, if you're not sure what to write and you write one way and that's not how you speak and that's not your style and it's not authentic, people will pick up on that when they see different glimpses of you, and they're like, that wasn't really her. Like, yeah, that it doesn't come across in your style. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I want you all, just checking that I'm recording, I want you all to go and do this. Okay, I want you all to take time. For those in coach mentorship, I'm going to set this as, you can do it before, but I'm going to set part of this as Saturday's unit, because you'll have more time to be creative on the weekend, hopefully. And I just want you to really dig into this, because I promise when you start writing captions like this, you're going to find conversions a lot easier. So yeah, that is it. Does anybody have any questions based on that? Anybody?
No, you made it sound very simple compared to looking at it.
Yeah, okay. So for anybody who's not watching the training live and who hasn't printed these off yet, print this off and it will make sense. Because if you printed this off and not really listened to the training, it's not going to make that much sense. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to do it once you've actually listened to this training. So do the two side by side. Just take the half an hour to do it and recycle this every single week. Like, write with this same focus, with this same intention every week. And like I said, you've got to know what you're recruiting to in terms of, like, to start the month, when does your challenge group start? Like, say it starts on the 2nd of December, like our next one does. You need to have been talking about the challenge group from last week, because it takes people time to get signed up. It takes people time to have the information from you. So you need to have been doing that before. That means you'll lock in Success Club by the beginning of the month, and then you can change your focus to the business opportunity and start breadcrumbing that, sharing stories around that, doing a value post. Remember, there's 3 post types in all of these settings. I'll just recap them for you. Like, so say on the challenge group one, you can talk about like body image, or what is your avatar, like self-love, anything like that. Talk around that in the same template that I just said. Post 2, add value, like share a workout, like do a recipe, share a motivational tip or a personal development book you listened to and you really wanted to share this quote with someone. And then number 3 is a story about your personal struggle. That's 3 posts. Sometimes you might post twice a day on your feed, and then you just recycle that. Okay, you change the story, but the theme is the same. The same goes with the coach opportunity. Post 1, like, what is this business doing for my lifestyle? Post 2, what is it doing for my family? Post 3, like, how has it changed your life? Like, how has it motivated you? Do some kind of motivational call to action for them to join you. Okay, super, super simple. You just repeat. Every post is written with purpose. It is written with an outcome in mind, and you are really getting those people to feel it here. Okay, you're going to become a professional storyteller and a professional friend maker. And I will reference the book one more time, because if you haven't got it, go and download the book, The Story Brand by Donald Miller, because it will really help you understand the difference between talking about yourself and talking in a way that other people can relate to you. You're not the hero. No one gives a crap about you. They only give a crap about themselves. And once you can relate to them and what they're feeling and the struggle they're going through by sharing your story, you position yourself as the guide. They're the hero in the story. You're the guide. You're the one that's going to help them get from where they are to where they want to be. And that's from telling people along your journey of where you were, where you are, and where you want to be. Like, you don't have to be a top coach. You don't have to be $1 million earner. You don't have to be at your goal weight yet, okay? You're telling the story of where you are, where you were, where you are now, and some of your posts could be where you want to be. Like, I started writing posts a while ago about, I'm doing this now for my future children. Like, I don't want to have to send my kids to daycare while I go to work. I don't want my husband to have to go and get a job at the weekend just to pay for my kid to go to daycare in the week so he never sees them. Like, one of my friends told me that her daughter's husband had to go to work on the weekend just to pay for their daycare in the week. And that was just like, that lit a fire in me to be like, I have to work my ass off because I never want to do that. What's the point of having a kid if you're just working to pay to put them in daycare and never see them? And if you're already in that position now, like, use this to get out of it. Tell people why you're working so hard. You're working to have a better future for your kids. You might not be there yet. And that is exactly why sharing your story authentically has power, because people will be in that same position as you were a couple of months ago, or where you are now, and they want to build with you to get to where you both want to get to. Okay, so speak with passion, speak with purpose, and then everything will come together with your post. But it does take planning, guys. It will take setting aside time at the weekend to really come up with a theme for the week, to come up with what you're posting, like what you're posting for. And then it will just become a lot easier, and you'll find that you're going to get a lot more traction. So if you haven't done the avatar exercise yet, go and do the avatar exercise and then do this, and I promise you your post will have a lot more like purpose, and they'll attract a lot more people who are in your tribe and who will actually want to join you and build with you. Okay, any questions? Nope. Okay, that was really short and sweet today, and I hope to the point, and I hope added a lot of value. So we do have Clean Week coming up on Monday. The group is all set up and ready to go, so please just blast it all weekend if you want to invite to it. The scripts are all in the new coach mentorship. If you didn't know what to say to people, post it on your stories, go and invite people who are sitting on the fence. We will help you run that group, so don't worry, you've never run a group before. I've got everything loaded in there already, and I'll start accepting people on Saturday into the group because I don't want them in there too early. There'll be nothing for them to see apart from like a couple of prep videos. And then yes, new coach mentorship starts on December the 2nd. So if you've got any coach prospects on the line, like use that as a date to work towards. We just signed up a coach just now. I feel like she's just going to run. She's already really excited. And she's going to be in that with Valentina. So guys, start really talking to coaches now, coach prospects, or any of your customers who are loving it, and do they want to start sharing it with their friends? Like, challengers are often the best coaches because they've got their own transformation, or they're experiencing their own journey, and they want to start sharing it with friends. And then what other dates do we need to look at? Just to recap, well, I've got a little bit of time left on the meeting. Bar Blend for Coaches comes out at the beginning of January. As a coach, you get access to 10 bonus workouts. So if you wanted to try Bar Blend, it's an amazing thing as a coach to sign up for it in advance, because you can say in your stories on your feed, I'm trying this new awesome workout, I can't wait to share it with you in January. And you can do like sneak peeks of it for the whole month of December, like a couple of days a week or once a week, to get people signed up for that. It launches on the 16th, but it doesn't actually officially go into the bod library for VIP until January the 13th. So we're going to be pushing that date. A lot of our existing customers want to do that. But for newbies, we can suggest 21-day fix or bar. I think some of the ladies would love bar. So just keep those dates in mind and then work backwards for those. Don't take your foot off the gas going into the season. Suggest people buy it for their like family members as Christmas presents. Like it's an awesome gift to give someone, challenge pack, or birthday present. So just, yeah, go all in, like keep your foot on the gas, because imagine what that extra money could do for your Christmas with your family and friends, and just being able to just enjoy it without any worry or anything like that. So keep your goal in mind, and keep working to those goals. All right, guys, if no one's got any questions or anything to say, I'll end the recording, and I'll see you guys in the meeting. Bye.